Well, good evening, everyone. We just wanted to talk a little bit about our weather impact alert, which we've had in effect for the last couple of days. And why do we do this? Well, first of all, we wanted to alert you to impending weather that dramatically impacts your life. And we think that, anytime in South Carolina we're below 32 degrees, that impacts a lot of folks' lives because you're not really used to that all the time. The low normally is, 35 to 40, especially as we get into the warmer part of the year through January into February. So anyway, we have some cold temperatures coming our way, and especially after having almost a week, the work week of 70s for highs and overnight lows in the mid 40s to even upper 50s, and we still have another one to go tomorrow. We have a cold front coming through, and it's a pretty strong one. It's not going to give us a lot of rain, but it has a pretty good punch as far as air goes, and we're looking at being well below freezing, not just below 32. Warm through Saturday, so that's what we're looking at coming ahead here. Rain showers. Possibly, I'll show you what the chances are for that on Saturday. And I think we see some sunshine on Sunday. Now, that clearing of the clouds, we've had a lot of cloud coverage lately. That's going to clear out. That's going to be part of the problem getting down into the 20s once again. It's just the clearer we are, the cooler we get because all the radiation we got. Even when it was cloudy, you get radiation on the surface. The clouds, if they're not there to keep it at the surface, it goes out in the atmosphere. So that means the surface gets a lot cooler. So that's what we're looking at as we go into Monday. But you can see the overnight low into Sunday morning is still 52. But boy, the temperature is going to plummet relatively fast. You're talking about going from close to 80 on Saturday all the way down to 26 on Monday morning. So that's like a 36-hour swing of what, 54 degrees. Right now we're comfortable this evening in the mid to upper 60s across the area. So another night where we're going to see pretty warm overnight. Actual 58 was the low this morning. That's a degree above what we normally see for a high. So these are pretty dramatic high temperatures. And tomorrow's record might even come close to a record tomorrow. So we have actually two fronts here. This is the current radar and satellite image. And western counties are seeing rain, have seen rain, and we knew they were going to see rain. And it looks like that'll continue off and on as we go through Saturday. And they will get rain until this front swings through. There's a front behind a weaker one, and that one's taking over right now and getting all the energy. But it's going to take a lot of moisture out of the air before it gets to the Midlands, especially before it gets to the coast. The coast doesn't look like it's going to get much rain at all. But you can see the highs from 78, so close to 80 on tomorrow afternoon, down to 50 for the high, and that's well below that normal of 56. And you can see the record is 82. It's at 1949. So probably won't tie that, but it's not out of the question because we got a really good southwest breeze ahead of that. So it's going to be breezy as well. Lake wind advisory stuff is going to be out. And, behind the front, you get that northerly or northwesterly flow. That one's going to be pretty stiff, too. So when I say 26 degrees for Monday and 27 degrees on Tuesday morning, we're not even counting the wind that will take an extra bite out of it. So it's looking like winds maybe 10 to 15 or 20 miles an hour sustained, and maybe some gusts, possibly up to 30. If it was 30, it would knock the wind chill factor down to about 11 or 12. But that's a wind gust. Sustained winds 10 to 15, we could definitely see across the area wind chill factor below 20 in the teens. So here's the model that shows what's going on, and the chance for the western counties to see rain. They're getting beneficial rain too. That's why I'd like to see a lot of this rain coat the whole state. But this is 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. We'll see a mostly cloudy day tomorrow. Then notice how the shades of green get lighter as we get toward the Midlands, and it's just less of a chance for rain. We're not going to see a washout by any stretch in the Midlands, but they're going to see pretty good rain up in there in the western part of the state. Then when it gets to the coast, almost no rain at all. And then the front moves through. Notice these arrows. These are the wind barbs, and they're mostly coming out of the northwest, and then they'll kind of shift and come more northerly. That's cool air. And once we go through Sunday night into Monday, it's going to be pretty chilly here because we got clearer skies, relatively clear skies. So that means cold for Monday morning and a pretty good breeze. These wind barbs are normally green when it's 5 to 8 kind of mile an hour wind, but they change colors here. You see, they change to light blue. That's a stiffer wind. So when you get the 25 degrees, like I said, and then you get some of these winds there, it feels a lot cooler. A good 10 degrees cooler. So what are our rain chances for this? This is the front that's going to impact us. And I took it down to 50%. Not much of a chance for Columbia and the Midlands to see rain. Doesn't look like we'll see rain again until next week. So tonight, not too bad. This is the next to last night of seeing temperatures like this. Looks like 58 tonight and 52 tomorrow night into Sunday. Cloudy, that helps keep us warm overnight. And then just remember all of these protective things that we tell you all the time about the 5 Ps, the people, take care of the people. You got to bundle up Monday. That's another thing. This all starts Monday morning. We don't want people to be taken off guard after having beautiful temperatures all weekend long. Watch out for your pets. Make sure, because 26 is pretty cool. I know it's pretty cool for my dog. And then the pipes, they could freeze. We're about 5 degrees below 32 degrees, the freezing point. It's not going to be a long stretch of that. It's just going to be a few hours. In the coldest part of the day, it's usually an hour after sunrise. So we're talking about 8, 9 o'clock is when it's going to be its coldest. So pipes might not be that much of a problem, but whatever precautions you take when it's 26 degrees, I would say take it, because we're going to see 2 nights of this. And watch out for plants, and watch out for heating safety. A lot of people have, I used to have kerosene heaters when I was younger, and those things are very dangerous. We had them in the Army too. They blew up a couple of times because the soldiers weren't, the group I was with, they weren't minding the safety rules. Anyway, this is what we're talking about. Monday and Tuesday mornings, lows in the mid-20s, wind chill in the, I'd say mid to upper teens is pretty fair, maybe cooler in some other areas. I'd say winter clothing. I'm going to have a coat on that morning, and that's what we're talking about. Monday into Tuesday. Oh, I got to move this over to Monday into Tuesday. It's Monday into Tuesday, but notice as we get into Wednesday, it's still pretty chilly, 33, right at the freezing point, and we get more normal with our highs. And then we go through the end of the week, and we get down to 31 on Friday, or right on the freezing line there. So it's going to be close on there. So once again, we just want to make sure well ahead of time. And we saw this, Monday, but I like to see at least 2 days in a row where the models are consistent a week out with temperatures. And it's been steady, showing mid-20s ever since Monday. So he started issuing this weather impact alert yesterday. I'm going through it today. And, a lot of people have, turn these off when you leave. Watch out for fireplaces. They got those guards and everything. Keep flammable stuff away. I think you guys all know that stuff. But it's a good reminder. I know that I forget things all the time, and I like to see little tips like this. Hey, winter safety tips, we're not out of that. It's still January. Dress for the conditions. Make sure you're watching out. Make sure you're paying attention to that wind chill factor, okay? There are wind chill charts. We'll keep you updated on it, of course. Check on other people, the elderly, and make sure your kids are all bundled up there. And if you're using chimneys or the furnace, we don't use those. We haven't been using them for a while. I know this. When I grew up, it was an older furnace, but if you didn't use it for a while, it could have problems if my dad didn't service it in time. Watch your car too. Down below 32 for a while. Don't put water in your reservoir for your washer fluid, right? Inspect your chimney, insulate your attic. All this stuff, I think everyone's probably done by now. But leaves have fallen, gutters get clogged. You want to make sure that your double checking all that to make sure that you're going to be okay for these 2 to 3 days. Remember, Monday and Tuesday morning, that's why we're doing this weather impact alert well ahead of time. You got plenty of time to prepare for this. And it's going to be cold in the mid-20s with the wind chill in the mid to upper teens, and then just watch out for your heating safety. Of course, we're going to keep giving you updates all weekend long, and we'll tell you exactly what's going on to keep you informed on this situation and keep reminding